The film begins with the main character, huge bodybuilder Dennis, looking in the mirror. Leaving the restaurant toilet, he returns to the table where the girl is waiting. She wonders why he doesn't eat shrimp cocktail and learns that the hero is allergic to shrimp. Confused, the guy cannot explain why he ordered him, unless the date is so terrible that it's easier to get drunk. From the conversation, it is clear that the girl owns a beauty salon and the guy is a professional bodybuilder. That is, he pumps iron, competing in muscle definition competitions. But since there is no money to be made from competitions, Dennis works part-time as a security guard in a pub. After this confession, the girl's interest drops sharply. She accuses the interviewer of shamelessly staring at her breasts, although the hero is examining the pendant. Later, sitting in the car, Dennis shakes his head in disappointment. The date ended in nothing. He returns home, carefully making his way in the dark so as not to wake his mother. But Tanny is sleeping, sitting in the kitchen and waiting for her son to return. The woman arranges an interrogation, to which the son lies that he went to the cinema with a friend. The hero goes to bed, but the mother urgently needs to throw out passive aggression under the guise of care. However, he manages to reduce the scandal to nothing. In the morning, while he is washing in a shower, his mother does not hesitate to go into the toilet and sit on the toilet, clearly demonstrating her attitude towards his opinion and personal life. After having breakfast with a special nutritional mixture, the hero gets ready to meet his relatives. Already sitting in the car, the mother asks if he locked the door. Under pressure, the guy returns to check. A family dinner is dedicated to introducing the relatives to Uncle Dennis's wife. He brought it from Thailand. The hero watches the couple with a slight smile and white envy, while the mother frowns displeasedly. She does not like either the couple or the reaction of her son, who helps carry out the old tradition of cutting off the sock of her new husband. In the evening, while brushing his teeth, his mother does not forget to hint to Dennis that her brother's happy appearance is temporary. In the gym, the hero works out with iron. But while blood flows through the veins, carrying nutrients to overworked hands, dark thoughts rummage in my head. They are aggravated by a girl passing by from a recent date. She doesn't even respond to Dennis's greeting. The hero visits his uncle to help clear the weeds. Later, a relative pays for the service. He collected travel brochures from Thailand. Dennis is planning to go there, so he is preparing. At home, he Googles information about hotels where he can stay. Having made up his mind, the guy in the gym approaches the girl who rejected him to say that she is not his type. She naturally perceives his words with relief. An inspired Dennis spins with his partner in front of the mirror, practicing poses. At home, he tells his mother that he is going to Germany, supposedly for competition. The old lady does not like this turn of events. She pointedly refuses to finish dinner. In the morning, when the son has made breakfast, the mother does not even want to leave the bedroom. However, Dennis's determination to leave was not affected in any way by her behavior. Having collected his things, he comes in to say goodbye, but Tal lies wrapped in a blanket and does not want to come out. Throwing on a jacket, the hero leaves his father's house, setting off to meet adventures. Soon he's rolling in a taxi across Thailand. After the harsh Scandinavian climate of our native Denmark, Southeast Asia seems like real magic, not to mention the liberated local girls. Already at check-in at the hotel, the concierge asks whether he will bring someone to the room, because then you need to pay extra. But Dennis refuses, just in case. You need to find a friend first, even if there are carefully provided contraceptives lying on the table in your room. Having settled in, the hero looks from the balcony at the exotic country below, full of prospects and opportunities for tourists. He then goes to a local diner to visit a guy named Scott, who his uncle sent him to. It was Scott who introduced the guest to his new wife, and now he can help Dennis too. Having clarified his preference, the owner of the shop tells him to return in the evening. He will find him a girl. On the way home, the taxi driver suggests stopping at a tailor. Apparently, he is also one of those businessmen who taxis for the soul. Their huge tourist is measured from all sides in order to prepare a jacket for going out in the evening. The cunning tailor immediately offers to buy two at a discount, and when Dennis refuses, he inflates the price by 1,000, fleecing him according to the habit of a tourist. The guy calls home from the hotel to tell his mother that he has arrived, but she doesn't pick up, so he has to leave a message. Having received the jacket, the hero washes and tries on a new thing in front of the mirror, throwing it over his shorts. He goes to the meeting, fighting off sociable girls along the way who are not averse to making money from tourists. At the diner, he is greeted by the owner himself and his guests. Dennis notices that there are a lot of foreigners here who are being courted by local girls. Soon one of them heads towards him. The girl confidently and professionally takes matters into her own hands, talking to the crowded hero and admiring his developed muscles. The girl asks to show off her muscles, which finally makes the guy blush, forcing him to retreat to the toilet. However, even there the liberated Thai woman does not leave Dennis. She follows him to examine him and help him dry the interesting places with a towel, embarrassing him even more. However, the two return to the hotel, where a cheerful concierge greets the guest, reminding him of the additional fee. In the room itself, the hero nervously paces the room while the guest takes a shower. Coming out in just a towel, the girl voices the prices, which surprises the big, simple-minded, good-natured man. Nevertheless, he agrees to pay, but when the girl is ready to get down to business, Dennis offers to talk in order to get to know each other better. As a result, timidity takes its toll, and he persistently asks the girl to leave without starting her professional activity. When the disappointed guest changed her clothes, the failed client paid and remained sitting alone, calling his mother, listening to the satisfied groans of other, more accommodating hotel guests. In the morning, he visits the gym, where the skinny locals, compared to him, pump iron. He asks one of the athletes to show where the weight plates are. While Dennis is screwing them onto the bar, the Thai muscle man recognizes him and shows him on the trophy stand an album with newspaper clippings, which, among others, includes the hero himself. The fan introduces the guest to the owner of the club, a girl named Toy, after which the athletes work out together, supporting each other. Along the way, Dennis teaches the Thai some bodybuilding tricks that are important in competitions. After the exercises, the new friend invites the hero to have dinner with his friends, but he has his own plans. He returns to the diner in Kuskada, where he meets a new girl, and everything turns in circles, like in Groundhog Day. Same questions, same answers. The evening is brightened by the performance of a local singer, to whose singing the guests shake their hands. After looking around, Dennis leaves under a plausible pretext. On the way, he is surrounded by other girls who want to earn extra money, but he wants to be left alone. However, after sitting on the bench, he goes to the restaurant at the address indicated to his friends from the rocking chair. Dennis feels more comfortable among athletes who share his passion. Even the presence of that gym owner doesn't bother him. When she asks where he's from, the hero explains in more detail, without getting off with the publication's attendance. He himself finds out that the gym belonged to Toya's husband while Tanya cheated several years ago. Dennis says that he himself was not married, since he had not yet found his one and only, to which Toya encourages him, saying that everything is still ahead. After dinner, the musclemen ride off on their mopeds, leaving Toy and Dennis alone. They return by public transport, and on the way the woman asks if he knows how to ride a moped. The next morning, the two of them go for a drive and admire the Thai sights and local cuisine, not forgetting to drop into the temple and bring an offering to the priests. The motorcycle rally ends on the beach, where Dennis admires Toy emerging from the water in a wet, clinging t-shirt. When she offers to have a picnic here, the hero reaches out to kiss her, but the girl pulls away in fear. Frustrated, he leaves, but cannot start the moped in the parking lot. Returning Toy offers to leave the equipment until tomorrow and return on its wheels. That's what they do. They roll through the evening city together. Saying goodbye near the Addy, Toy says that in Thailand it is not customary to kiss on the street, after which he invites him to dinner at his home. Having reached there, instead of eating, they begin to kiss, without being embarrassed by more curious eyes. But even so, Dennis still becomes servile, and the girl has to be persistent. At the last moment, the hero's nerves give out and he leaves, apologizing. Outside, he pauses in thought in the middle of the night street, then returns and knocks on the door. In awkward silence, they sit together on the bed until Dennis admits that he really likes the hostess and asks permission to stay the night. Despite the agreement, they slept in an embrace and in clothes. The next scene, Dennis is riding in a taxi through the streets of his hometown. He comes home with a suitcase, where he finds his mother. They drink tea while Tara asks how the competition went. The son lies that he took 6th place, which explains the lack of trophies, but the displeased smile. Also, a fresh tan does not escape the discerning gaze of the mother, which is attributed to the solarium. However, besides a tan and a jacket, Dennis brought something back from the trip. Photo of that one. Soon the hero, together with a realtor, is looking for an apartment. In the evening, unable to sleep from overwhelming thoughts, he goes to his mother to talk. The matter is urgent. With a heavy heart, Dennis admits that instead of Germany, he went to Thailand, inspired by his uncle's example, in the hope of finding a girl there. He says that he met her, but his mother, offended in her best feelings, orders him to go away. In the morning, he goes down to the kitchen and sees his mother sitting at the table. They have a difficult conversation ahead of them. A woman asks about a rival who encroached on her beloved son. But Dennis is not too ready to talk about his personal life. Then accusations come into play, saying that if he is lying to his mother, then he probably no longer loves her. Without forgetting to mention the disgustingness of the very phenomenon of sex tourism, the mother summarizes. She did not approve of his relationship and demands that he end it immediately. Accustomed to resisting physical, but not psychological pressure, Dennis promises to do so. But later he meets her at the airport with a joyful smile and a bouquet of flowers. He takes her to an apartment that he specially bought and furnished in secret from his mother, in order to avoid the need to introduce his friend to her. The guy immediately gives her a pendant, before telling his mother that his heart is bad, so he must look after her while he settles into his new apartment. Of course, the girl doesn't really like this arrangement, but she is extremely talented in not letting it show. But even this turns out to be a lie. There's nothing wrong with the mother. Dennis returns to her in the evening. The next day, the hero is wandering around the shopping center when he notices his mother wandering nearby. He quickly turns into the nearest boutique to avoid detection. However, the trick doesn't work. A mother sees her tall son in a lingerie store, and the latter notices that someone is talking to her boyfriend. In the current situation, everything can be admitted, but Dennis valiantly lies to the bitter end, passing off his friend as the sister of his uncle's wife. But even without his participation, the conversation smoothly slides towards exposure. Toy is interested in the health of her potential mother-in-law. Dennis can't think of anything better than to retreat with that annoyed mother screams. Sitting in the car, the hero is immersed in heavy thoughts. He drops a girl off and then goes home to sort things out. The mother sits in the kitchen, clutching a bloody towel. She injured herself while trashing her son's room with his awards from tent. Seeing this barbarity, the hero sits down on the bed, powerless, and a lonely, stingy tear rolls down his stern face. Sitting at the table to his mother's question from Toy, he finally decides to answer, "It's none of your business." She accuses him, comparing him to his father. Dennis warns that the girl remains in the country, and he himself moves out. Then the woman moves from pressure to manipulation and through pity and sheds a tear. Having carefully bandaged his mother's cuts, the guy collects his hard-earned trophies into boxes. Looking around the room that was almost solitary confinement in a psychological prison, Dennis loads things into the trunk. Toy is waiting for him in the car. Having hugged his mother goodbye, the guy ignores her request to stay with her and walks away to his new, happier life. The car loaded with things drives off and takes Dennis and Toy to their own apartment. The camera rises above the road, leaving the heroes alone with their happiness. This is where the film ends.